Have you ever noticed that bell pepper plants seem eager to keep living far longer than we usually allow? Most gardeners treat peppers as short-term crops, planted in spring, harvested briefly, then removed when productivity slows. But peppers don't naturally operate that way. With the right methods, they're capable of producing again and again, without digging, tilling, or exhausting the soil beneath them. Below are 7 proven secrets for growing truly long-lasting, infinite bell peppers, techniques rooted in no-dig gardening, soil ecology, and the natural growth habits of peppers. These aren't tricks or shortcuts. They're small but powerful changes that turn a single pepper plant into a reliable, long-term food producer. Everything is written straight through with only numbered sections. 1. Start with living soil, not dirt. The foundation of endless bell pepper harvests isn't seed choice, fertilizer brands, or complex schedules. It's the living soil ecosystem beneath the plant. In natural environments, peppers never grow in bare, compacted dirt that's disturbed every season. They thrive in layered, biologically active soil rich in decomposing plant matter, fungi, bacteria, insects, and constant microbial activity. This unseen world is what sustains plants for the long term. No-dig gardening succeeds because it protects and strengthens this underground network. Every time soil is tilled or dug, fungal threads are torn apart, microbial communities are disrupted, and nutrients are released too quickly. Peppers grown this way often grow fast at first, then stall or decline early. In contrast, no-dig systems build fertility gradually from the surface downward, just like a forest floor. By continuously layering compost, leaf mold, aged manure, straw, grass clippings, or worm castings on top of the soil, you create a slow, renewable nutrient reservoir. Earthworms and microorganisms pull nutrients downward at a natural pace, converting organic material into plant-available minerals over weeks and months, rather than days. This steady supply prevents nutrient booms and crashes, one of the main reasons pepper plants stop producing prematurely. When soil biology is thriving, pepper roots form symbiotic relationships with fungi and bacteria. These organisms dramatically extend the plant's ability to absorb phosphorus, calcium, trace elements, and moisture. The result is deeper roots, greater resilience, and faster recovery after each harvest. This is why peppers grown in living soil don't wear out after one fruiting cycle. They continue branching, flowering, and setting fruit because the soil remains energetically alive. With intact biology, a pepper plant can live 2, 3, or even 4 times longer than one grown in depleted, disturbed soil. Living soil supports continuous growth. Dead soil shortens plant life. If you want ongoing harvests, the soil must come alive first. 2. Choose varieties that are built for longevity. Not every bell pepper variety is meant to keep producing over long periods. Many modern varieties sold through large commercial channels are bred for speed, uniformity, and single harvest cycles. These plants are designed to grow quickly, set fruit all at once, and then be removed, not to live long, resilient lives. For nearly endless production, genetics play a crucial role. Look for pepper varieties that naturally keep branching and flowering instead of shutting down after one heavy yield. Thick-walled, indeterminate-style bell peppers are especially well suited for this. These plants don't follow a strict internal end date. As long as they remain healthy, they continue pushing out new growth and flowers. Heirloom and open-pollinated peppers often excel in this role. Because they weren't bred exclusively for industrial efficiency, many retain stronger root systems, flexible growth patterns, and better stress tolerance. These traits make them particularly compatible with no-dig gardening, where nutrients are released gradually and soil structure remains undisturbed. In warm climates, these peppers frequently behave like short-lived perennials. With consistent feeding and protection from extreme cold, they can produce continuously for many months, and sometimes over multiple years. In cooler regions, the same varieties can be overwintered indoors or in protected spaces, and then brought back into growth for another full season. Plants bred for endurance respond differently to harvesting and pruning. Instead of slowing down, they rebound with new branches and flower sets after fruit removal. Their genetics encourage continued growth rather than shutdown. An endless harvest starts with endless potential, and that potential is encoded in the plant long before the first pepper ever appears. 3. Never remove the plant. Allow it to renew itself. One of the biggest reasons gardeners never experience long-term pepper harvests is surprisingly simple. They abandon the plant too soon. When bell pepper plants slow down or temporarily stop producing fruit, many assume the plant has reached the end of its life cycle and pull it out. In reality, most pepper plants are not finished at all. They are simply depleted and in need of recovery. Bell peppers are not naturally designed to produce once and die. They grow in repeating cycles. After a heavy period of fruiting, the plant pours enormous amounts of energy into developing and ripening peppers. During this time, vegetative growth slows, flowering may pause, and the plant can look weak, sparse, or stagnant. This phase is a natural part of the plant's rhythm, not a sign of failure. Instead of removing the plant, the key is to support regeneration. Begin by harvesting mature peppers consistently so the plant is no longer expending energy on fully developed fruit. Then give the plant a chance to rest and reset. Light, strategic pruning makes a dramatic difference. Remove thin, unproductive stems, yellowing or damaged leaves, and crowded branches that block airflow and light. Opening the center of the plant allows sunlight and oxygen to reach dormant growth points, triggering new shoots and fresh flower production. In a no-dig garden, this recovery process happens much faster and more effectively because the root system remains intact. The roots are already well established, deeply anchored, and connected to thriving fungal networks in the soil. When you reduce top growth, those strong roots immediately push energy upward to rebuild healthier, more productive branches. It's common to see a pepper plant produce even more fruit during its second or third cycle than it did initially. In warm climates, this regeneration cycle can repeat multiple times within a single growing season. In regions with mild winters, pepper plants may even behave like short-lived perennials, continuing to grow and fruit for many months, if protected from cold stress. The essential lesson is simple but powerful. Don't replace a living plant, restore it. A mature root system is a long-term asset. Once you remove it, you're forced to start over from scratch. 4. Feed. From above, not below. One of the most transformative principles of no-dig gardening is understanding who truly needs to be fed. Conventional gardening focuses on delivering nutrients directly to plant roots using liquid fertilizers or synthetic granules mixed into the soil. No-dig gardening takes a completely different approach. Instead of feeding the plant directly, you nourish the soil ecosystem and allow that ecosystem to nourish the plant naturally. In healthy, natural environments, plants are never fertilized from below. Nutrients arrive from above as fallen leaves, decaying plant matter, animal waste, and organic debris. This material rests on the soil surface where fungi, bacteria, insects, and worms gradually decompose it. This process is what allows forests and wild ecosystems to remain productive for centuries without tilling, digging, or chemical inputs. To replicate this system for bell peppers, regularly add organic material to the soil surface around the plant. Every 2 to 4 weeks, apply a thin layer of compost, shredded leaves, grass clippings, straw, or finely chopped kitchen scraps. Do not dig it in. Do not disturb the soil beneath. Simply place it on top and let biology handle the rest. As this organic layer breaks down, fungi act as nutrient highways, delivering minerals directly to pepper roots through underground networks. Bacteria convert complex organic matter into forms plants can absorb slowly and safely. Earthworms pull material downward, improving soil structure, aeration, and moisture retention. The result is a gentle, continuous flow of nutrients rather than sudden bursts followed by depletion. This slow, steady feeding is essential for long-term pepper production. One of the most common reasons peppers stop flowering and fruiting mid-season is nutrient exhaustion caused by fast-release fertilizers. These products push rapid growth early on, but once nutrients are used up, plants crash and shut down. No-dig top feeding prevents this entirely. The plant is never shocked, stressed, or starved. It remains consistently supported. Over time, this approach builds soil that becomes richer each season instead of poorer. Every layer you add increases microbial diversity, water holding capacity, and root health. The soil improves year after year, and the pepper plants respond by continuing to grow, flower, and produce far beyond the limits of conventional gardening. A soil that is constantly nourished creates a plant that never receives the signal to stop. 5. Focus on reducing stress, not just watering. When bell pepper plants slow down or stop producing, it's almost never because they're old. In most cases, the real issue is stress. Peppers are biologically capable of living and producing far longer than most gardeners realize, but only when their growing conditions remain stable. Stress signals tell the plant to shift priorities away from reproduction and toward survival, which immediately reduces flowering and fruit set. Temperature stress is one of the most overlooked causes of poor long-term production. Peppers dislike extremes. When soil temperatures swing too hot during the day or too cold at night, roots become inefficient and stressed. This is where mulch becomes non-negotiable in a no-dig system. A thick, continuous layer of mulch, such as straw, shredded leaves, grass clippings, or wood chips, acts like natural insulation. It shields roots from heat, buffers against cold snaps, and maintains a steady underground environment where roots can function calmly and consistently. Watering habits also play a critical role in stress management. Peppers do not thrive with frequent, shallow watering. That approach trains roots to stay near the surface, where they are vulnerable to heat, drying out, and nutrient shortages. Instead, water slowly and deeply so moisture penetrates far into the soil profile. Then allow the soil to partially dry before watering again. This pattern encourages roots to grow downward, creating a stronger, more resilient plant that can access deeper nutrients and withstand dry periods with far less stress. Even fruit production itself can become a form of stress. When a pepper plant is loaded with large, mature fruits, it receives a biological signal that its reproductive job is complete. Seed production has succeeded, so the plant begins to slow down. Harvesting peppers early and consistently prevents this shutdown. Picking fruits while they are still green or just starting to change color keeps the plant locked in produce more mode rather than slipping into decline. The more stable and calm the growing environment, the longer the plant continues to give. Reduce stress, and bell peppers stop acting like short-season annuals and begin behaving more like short-lived perennials. 6. Prune with longevity in mind, not appearance. Pruning bell peppers isn't about making them look neat or forcing them into a specific shape. It's about keeping them productive and youthful over time. Many gardeners fall into one of two extremes. Some prune peppers aggressively, treating them like tomatoes and stripping away too much growth, which weakens the plant. Others never prune at all, allowing old, inefficient growth to pile up and slowly drain energy. Long-term productivity lives between these two approaches. As pepper plants age, older leaves and stems become less effective. They shade new growth, restrict airflow, and create humid pockets where disease and pests thrive. By selectively removing yellowing leaves, damaged foliage, and weak interior branches, you allow light to reach the plant's core and improve air circulation. This dramatically reduces disease pressure, which is essential for keeping plants alive and productive over long periods. Thoughtful pruning also redirects energy. When you remove tired, unproductive growth, the plant reallocates its resources into fresh shoots, new branches, and additional flowering points. In no-dig systems, this effect is amplified. Because the roots are strong, undisturbed, and well-fed, the plant can quickly replace what's been removed with healthier, more vigorous growth. Avoid drastic pruning sessions. Gentle, regular pruning is far more effective than heavy cuts all at once. Think of pruning as renewal rather than restriction. You're not shrinking the plant, and you're constantly refreshing it. A pepper plant that receives light, strategic pruning stays productive far longer than one that's left to age unchecked. 7. Protect the roots and the plant will reward you. The final secret to growing truly infinite bell peppers comes down to one simple truth. Roots remember everything. Every time soil is disturbed, compacted, or dug, roots lose efficiency and stability. No-dig gardening avoids this damage entirely. Over time, pepper plants develop extensive underground root systems that store energy, regulate nutrient uptake, and buffer against environmental stress. This hidden infrastructure is what allows plants to regenerate again and again instead of burning out. Avoid compacting the soil around your pepper plants. Don't step near their base. Let worms, fungi, and microbes handle soil structure for you. Their tunnels and networks improve oxygen flow, drainage, and nutrient movement far better than any mechanical tool ever could. As seasons change, resist the urge to pull plants out prematurely. Even when above-ground growth slows, the root system often remains alive and capable of producing new shoots when conditions improve. In warm climates, pepper plants can live for multiple years. In cooler regions, they can be overwintered indoors or heavily mulched and allowed to return in spring. When roots are protected and left undisturbed, bell peppers stop behaving like disposable crops. They become regenerative systems, growing, producing, resting, recovering, and producing again. Infinite peppers aren't a trick or a myth. They are simply the natural outcome of living soil, low stress, patient care, and allowing plants to grow the way they were designed to.